Hello, today we've got a great topic 5 tips for your upcoming principal interview. Stay tuned. All right, let's jump right in. Let's talk about your upcoming principal interview. I've been a principal for 5 years and I've sat on a lot of principal panels. And so I'm really excited to share some tips with you about the process to becoming a principal. And most importantly, how you can be successful on your principal interview. Just some quick background. When I started the principalship, I came in during COVID 19, and I can tell you that nothing on the interview was asked about the pandemic, the upcoming pandemic. So there was no way that the interview prepared me to lead during that 2019 2020 school year as a brand new principal. But I will say, all of the experiences that I had as an assistant principal and a teacher leader did prepare me and my colleagues to do that successfully as a brand new principal. So, the first tip I have for you: everything that you have learned leading up to the principalship, continue to learn and grow and expand upon your experiences, because the interview itself is just a formality, but the leader who you are inside has been forming for a very, very long time. So continue to gain experiences as a leader to best prepare you for the principalship. Another tip that I have is, as you are preparing for your interview, research the district. Go on the district's website, follow the superintendent on social media, find out the values that the school system you want to be a part of has, so that when you're on your interview, you can speak directly to the vision and the mission that the school system has. Because on that interview, you want to show, I can be the person to help lead this vision and push it forward for students, staff, and the community. And the only way you'll know that is if you know that mission and vision of the district in which you are applying to. So don't forget that step. Always do your research before you apply. And as you are practicing, make sure that you are including that vision as a part of your answers. Which leads me to my next tip: practice, practice, practice. If you watch my previous video on assistant principals getting ready for their interview, I have the same advice for the principal interview. Do a mock interview, take your time, practice answers. You need to be able to think on your feet during those interviews. There might be some questions you know 100%, but there might be a question or two you get stumped on, and you don't want to be flat footed during your principal interview. So it's really important that you try to answer as many different questions as you can. How will you use data to drive your instruction? How will you use equitable practices to make sure that every student in your building is succeeding? How will you respond to a parent in a very challenging situation? How will you utilize your budget? How will you set a vision for your school community? And how will you make positive relationships with everyone that you serve? As principal, you need to be able to answer all of those questions and more. So continue to think about who you are as a leader and practice, practice, practice. Another tip that I would have is, on that interview, make sure that you are showing your passion for leading. That's really important. You might have all the answers in the world, but if you have a flat affect and you're speaking in a monotone way, it's very hard for the panelists to envision you as a leader of hundreds of people, hundreds of students, hundreds of community members and families, hundreds of staff members. So it's really important that you show who you are on your interview. You tell stories, talk about why this is important to you, how you have impacted or helped to impact students in your community, how you're making a positive difference in your current role. It's really important that the panel has an idea of who you are so that we can see you in this role. So share about yourself, talk about your values, talk about your family, talk about how this is something that's so important to you and why you are the right person to be in that seat. It's critically important that you are able to communicate that passion for this position. And finally, after that interview is over, take a deep breath. You've done everything that you can do to that point to be successful. Reflect on what you might do differently, and really just appreciate that moment, because when you got the interview, that already says we can see you in that seat. So you, when you get on that interview, you're just confirming what the panel already thinks and what they already know. We know that you're capable and that you can do this job. So I wish you the best of luck on your interviews. Research your district, practice, 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 continue to gain leadership experiences and grow as a leader. And you too will be ready to sit in that principal seat very soon. Best wishes.